Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the world of AI, and I promise you're gonna want to see this. Now, you guys have probably heard about platforms like Replit. I've been seeing their new Agent 3 everywhere, and today is finally the day on this channel that we jump into it. Now, here's where it gets fun. I'm gonna be building a chatbot dashboard. Well, Agent 3 is gonna be building a chatbot dashboard, and it's something that I want to use internally, like an assistant for my community page, so visitors can come ask questions, or even be specifically related to any business for that matter. So here's the golden question. Before I invest a significant amount of time into building this from scratch, can Agent 3 help me get to a usable prototype level that actually gets the job done? And if it can, will it be good enough to let me focus more of my energy on the things that actually need me the most, such as building my SaaS ideas, managing my day-to-day projects, or just freeing up my time for the bigger creative work? Now, before we get started, full transparency, this video is sponsored by Replit. But as always, everything I say, all of my opinions are 100% honestly my own. So let's build this thing. So here we have Agent 3 on Replit's website. Now, firstly, you guys saw it for yourself. What a beautiful website. Like, I'm not just saying it for the sake of it, but this is damn gorgeous. As I scroll down the animations, it's giving me Apple vibes, and I'm here for it. This is very clean. So first up, let's log in, get started with it. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my account, and here we are on the Replit dashboard. Now, as you can see, we have a prompt box where we basically prompt the AI to begin on the build that we want to do. Before we jump into that, you can see on the left, we can see any apps that we might have made, published apps, integrations, our current usage, as well as the information down here, which shows our usage quota, how much of our free apps that we've created, our agent percent that we've used up, and so forth. And what's also worth mentioning is you can also install Replit on your computer and your phone. So if you go ahead and download it in the App Store, I'm going to show you a very cool trick later on. But I found it very cool that we can actually go in here and we can add a theme. Now, this was really cool because if I click on Manage Themes, you can see right here, I can actually design my own theme. This is giving me Shadcyan vibes all over right now. So you can see right here, you've got different typography, colors, lots of stuff going on in here. But you can go ahead and just change different colors. So if I was to, wanted a red background or something close to the Papa Fam colors, maybe we could go ahead and do this with a bit of a white color. And already you can see we're kind of getting some branding going. And then obviously you can change these color buttons to, let's go ahead and just give it a quick little customization. I want to do a secondary background. So the text right there is, in this case, I've just done a very quick overhaul, but you can go as far as you want to customize this yourself. And then you can go ahead and save it, publish it to the theme library, keep it however you want, right? But in this case, we're going to keep it relatively simple. So once we've got our prompt dialed in and our theming set, we can go ahead and click on the Start Chat button. And as you can see, it will go ahead and start creating the app. Now, the first step is we've reached this plan and build section. So naturally, we're put into the plan by default. And what this essentially is where we can draft out a plan to build out the app that we're going to be building, or the agent is essentially drafting a plan for how we're going to build it. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in right now. And you can see, I'll help you create an AI assistant management dashboard using full stack JavaScript. Let me search for relevant integrations that could be useful for this project. So what it went ahead and done is it found that OpenAI had an integration for JavaScript, which is really powerful for the AI assistants. And if we go ahead and hover over the app type, you can see modern web app with a React and Node, Postgres SQL database, OpenAI, and real-time communication. So we can go ahead and check this. You can make changes to the plan if you want to. And then we have these two options down here where you can go ahead and either build the entire app directly, where the agent basically has free reign to run from this point on, or start with the design. Now, why is this cool? Because sometimes, you might have a piece of paper where you've drawn out an image of what you expect the layout to look like. You can literally go ahead and show those to the agent, and then you can go ahead and iterate on that layout, that design of the app, get the wireframing down right, and then start the production and build the app. But in this case, for this demo, we're going to just start building because I'm excited. So I'm going to click on Start Build. And as you can see, we get thrown into this screen right here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so it's a bit easier to see. But let's break this screen down. Well, first up, you can see the agent has already started working. It's generating the design guidelines and it's starting to do its thing. Now, if we look around, we can see we've got history over here. We can create a new chat, but as we're in progress right now, speaking to the agent, we can't. So we have to wait for that one to finish. And if you ever want to see the files, you can go ahead and toggle this button over here. So effectively, those are the main features, right? And then in this case, you can create new tabs, a bunch of things over here. And really what's cool is you can see the invite collaborator button here. So this is quite cool because let's say you and your friend are building the app and you both want to collaborate, you both want to chat to the agent, because you can simply go ahead and queue in more questions, interrupt at any point. Then you can invite a friend and have multiplayer experience, which is pretty damn cool. Now, while the agent is figuring out the next steps on how to build the app, I want to show you a couple of cool agent tools. So here we've got a few cool tools: app testing, max autonomy, and high power models. So this is one of the big advancements of Agent 3. It can actually launch the project in a real browser, test the functionality all on its own, and then fix the issues that it detects. And it's actually really cool because you can actually see the cursor moving around as it tries to figure out the issue, debug it, and then hopefully resolve it. We're going to give that a try today. And it also has a greater autonomy now. So it can actually run for up to 200 minutes continuously. So that is right here. You can see max autonomy deepens the scope of agent tasks to maximize autonomy, recommended for larger apps. Now, why is that important? Because sometimes, agent work is going to take a while. It's going to take a while. And the fact that it can support up to 200 minutes is very, very impressive. And there you have it. The agent is already active doing its thing. So as we can see, these are typically the steps that it's doing. And then whenever we see these options right here, we can simply click in, see the files that it's creating. And we can also see how it's adding all of the different files in over here as well. So we're going to let that do its thing and then come back in just a moment. As you can see, it's making pretty good progress. If I wanted to jump in at any point, and let's say I was reviewing some of the code and I spotted that, maybe I didn't like the way that it was doing this, I wanted to change it, I can actually go ahead and simply start typing in here. And I can either change from build mode, where I can make, test, iterate, self-explanatory, or I can plan, where I can ask questions and say, why are we doing it this way? Maybe we should instead go a different route, and so forth. Quick way to swap between these is Command I. So you can just press Command I. You can also go ahead and attach files as well. So a couple of cool steps here. We've got install dependencies. So here you can see it's integrating with OpenAI. And if we want to go ahead and see here, you can see it's actually installed OpenAI. And this is really cool because we can see the command output, and we can also see that it created a Postgres database. So if we click on that, we can see the development database right here and the tables it's created. So we've got assistants, users, conversations, messages. We can navigate to see my data as well. So this is pretty cool, right? And you've even got your settings for your Postgres database. Everything you need, basically, if you ever need to find it. Oh, we even have our preview live now as well. So there you go. We've got our first little instance of how the app will look. Now, if we look over here, it's actually prompting us. It's saying to enable the AI chat functionality, I need your OpenAI key. So in this case, it's basically got the human in the loop interaction element. And I actually quite like this because here it's asking us to do this before we can proceed. So it's given us all of the steps, told us how to do it. Now I'm going to go ahead and get a key. So I'm on the OpenAI website right here. I'm going to go ahead and create a new secret key. I'm going to call this one Replit. I'm going to do project, default project, and create a key right now. And we're going to copy that key, go ahead and click done, and then come back over here and paste it in like so. Click continue. And now that's gone ahead and added it to the environment variables for the project. Now, what's cool here is you can actually go ahead and save this secret to your account secret so you can access it within other apps. Why is that cool? Because let's say we had the same key across several apps. We don't have to keep on adding the same key. We can add it to our account secrets and then just use it in different apps as needed. Now, for OpenAI key, I wouldn't recommend you do that. I would recommend you create a new key for every new project. After that, we can just go ahead and say continue. Now, at any point, if you want to know where are we in the project flow, you can click on this list right here and it will show you the current tasks it's doing or it has to do essentially. So in this case, it's done a bunch of stuff here and then it's checking all application features work. So if you ever get stuck at any point, you know where to look to figure out what the agent is up to. So now what's really cool is it's actually going to go ahead and test the app functionality itself. So as you can see here, it's spinning up a browser right now. Now look at this, guys, right here. I'm going to go ahead and make this larger right now. And we can actually see this is the agent itself using the app. Now this is pretty damn cool, to be honest. Like you can see I've started testing the website and I'm now on the main dashboard. I see the application title, but the dashboard title says your AI assistants and the stats cards. And then it clicked on new assistant and now it's going to go ahead and start testing out the app. Now I'm not doing anything here. Look, my hands are absolutely here and it's going to start testing out the app itself. So in this case, it's gone ahead and entered a name, test marketing expert. It's going to select a specialty or a domain. And then you can see it's actually going to go type in the system prompt, select the specialty, maybe pick a color and also decide whether or not it's going to be public, private, and then create the assistant. Now, of course, this is the actual agent running this right now. So as you can see, it clicked into the chat. We have the AI assistant right here. And it started off by saying, hello, I'm test marketing expert, specialized in marketing. How can I help you today? So in that case, right now, what I want to do is I'm going to minimize that so that can do its thing here. So what happened here is it actually went to chat to the chatbot and it found that the AI was supposed to reply, but it didn't reply. So in this case, there seems like there's a mix up somewhere. So what it then does is it decides on a plan to fix it. So it then knows the area in which it needs to debug. And as you can see here, it found and fixed the OpenAI parameter issue. So now it's going to go ahead and test it again. So in the meantime, while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and open the chat and let's test it ourselves. So I'm going to say, hello there. What can you help me with? Enter. As you can see, chat error, failed to process message. So let's see if it can figure this out on its side when it does the testing. And imagine the way that this would work is this would be running in the background, right? So you would set this agent off, it will go and run, and then obviously it would find these issues out itself. But the really fascinating thing here is the ability that it can actually test the app and find out those problems itself. So in this case, let's wait for it to figure out that there is an issue and then proceed forward. So in this case, it found another error. And as you can see here, we're sending temperature to the AI and the current AI model that we're using doesn't understand that. So it's going to go ahead, give that another fix, and then see if it can get that working. As it's testing, we can even go into here and actually pop in the console and I can actually see what is happening. So as I went on the chat, as the test went on the chat page, you can see here, it's just about to send a message and we should see in the console when it submits a message. So as you can see there, it's starting the OpenAI request with system prompt, message history length, calling OpenAI with 3 messages. And then it generated a response. We can see AI's response generated with the length of the number of the characters coming back. So pretty cool. It's actually managed to fix the issue that it was having. And as you can see now, it says it's finished all of the tasks and it's successfully built the app. It tells us what's working based on its testing. So it's got database storage, WebSocket communication. And as you can see, it pops up here saying, I've created an MVP and identified a task list to work on. If everything looks good, continue building to make these updates to your app. Now, as you can see here, we've got a checkpoint, which is awesome. So that way, at this point, we can have, if we ever roll forward and start building things and we don't like it, we have a rollback point, which is pretty handy. We can see the number of minutes that was worked. And as you can see here, it's got the next set of tasks that it's going to go ahead and do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to click on continue building. But before I do that, I'm going to change the theming a bit, mess around with it a bit, and we're going to come back in just a moment. And we're back. So as you can see, Agent 3 has pumped out a beautiful app. So in this case, I was prompting with it a couple of times, went back and forth, and we got this. There's lots of functionality I want to run through, but in particular, as it wraps up on the last thing it did, I want to run over app testing. So as you can see here, this is where it just finished up an app testing run. So in this case, you can enable app testing over here. But what's so cool about this is when it's doing its work, when it's going ahead and making its way through each task, it will actually go ahead and test the app on a browser. So if we go ahead and check out the replay, you can see I'm starting to test the website by first setting up the browser and navigating to the homepage. I'm starting my exploration on the website and I found the YouTube Advisor Assistant. And as you can see, the bottom is telling me what it's doing. This is all happening from the agent itself. So as you can see here, it's double checking a bunch of things. And then it's basically making sure that the feature that it just implemented works. So hopping over here, you can see as it exits, it will continue to try and navigate based on logic. And then it will go into another community. And as you can see, what it was testing for there is a private community. You cannot share a link to the chat, whereas a public community, you can. So therefore, the feature that it created was therefore end-to-end tested, and it can wrap up and conclude that it's now done. So let's close that for a second. So let's go back over here and you can see we are now done, right? And again, made a final checkpoint. So I think it's perfect time to run through this app that it's gone ahead and produced. Now it's also worth mentioning that I was able to get constant updates, even if I wasn't sitting at this desk. So what I did was I effectively gave it a bunch of tasks to do in a queue. And then I was able to take Kenji for a walk. So my dog for a walk. And while I was outside, I could basically use the app and you can see right here, I could see what the agent was up to. And if you can see right here, this is actually the browser test that I just showed you. As you can see, that is the exact same browser test. So I was able to check on the progress of the agent even when I wasn't at my desk. And that's where I'm really starting to see a bit of power with this. So let's run through what it built. So you can see right now, let's go ahead and create a new assistant. Really nice. Let's go ahead and say this is a community advisor. So it's going to be my personal community advisor. Let's go ahead and say it was for education and learning. And let's give it this icon right here. So firstly, really nice. What I did do beforehand was I went ahead and prepared a prompt. Now this prompt essentially explains what my community offers, what memberships there are, and how somebody could join if they wanted to. So in this case, I've given it a system prompt, and this is basically just training it to some degree. So it has some context of if someone was to come in and ask a question, they would be able to give a nice response back. We're going to make this public. And as you can see, it's successfully created. So as you can see, we have now got the community advisor. So we got 0 chats here. It's never been used and it's idle because it's not being used at the moment. So what I want to do is let's go ahead and start a new chat. So I'm going to go in right here and you can see, hello, I'm community advisor, specialized in education learning. How can I help you? Say, what does this offer? So imagine they landed on the page and I'm testing it from the admin side. And there you go, guys. You can see, awesome question. It goes ahead and gives a bunch of information about our community, what a person would learn if they were to join the community. And you can see all of the different options. So now you can see we've just built an awesome community advisor, right? So that's pretty cool. So let's go back now. And let's say I wanted to review that chat. So we can go into the review chats and I can see that conversation from a minute ago. I can then go ahead and look at some other chats and you guys can see here, we've got a bunch of other chats from different conversations where I was testing a bunch of things, and that's awesome. So we've basically got a nice bit of we can go ahead and see who's chatting to our chat assistant, right? So next up, we can go ahead and edit the AI assistant. So in this case, if I want to change the logo to more of a, thinking logo, and let's go ahead and say Sunny's community advisor. Let's go ahead and do Sunny's community advisor, and we want to make it private. Let's go ahead and update the assistant. And as you can see, all changed, looks amazing, right? Now, once we've got this done, let's say I made a mistake and oh, look, I have 2 now, right? I have Papa Farm community and I have Sunny's community advisor. This one does pretty much similar things. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. So it's even built delete functionality. We can go ahead and delete that one forever. And as you can see, nice little modal saying success, it's all good. Now, if I want to check the database here, and I can actually click on the new tab, click on database, and I can click on development instance. And as you can see, when we deploy it, it would actually be a production instance. And then we can actually look through all of the data in the SQL database. So over here right now, I can actually see the different assistants, one of which being Sunny's community advisor, right? So this is awesome. And in this case, like the different icons, the conversations, everything has been built out accordingly, right? So this is what effectively our app is being powered from. Okay. Now, the really cool part about this is it actually went even further. So I really pushed it to see what we could do here. And let's run through and see what we could do. So in this case, we can share that assistant. Now, this is private, so you can't share a private link, but you can go ahead and directly chat if it's me who's doing it, right? Now, in this case, if I was to go ahead and make this public, update the assistant, you can see it unlocks right there. We go ahead and now we have a public share link and we have an embedded chat link. The embedded chat link is what will go on the website. So for example, let's go ahead and grab this, pop it over here. And as you can see now, we will have an embedded chat link, which will literally show not much branding or anything like that. Also, let's remove the header for a second. Now you can see, look at that. That is very clean. And this is what the end user would see. So imagine they're on my website. They need a bit of help. In the corner, we can go ahead and have a button saying chat to advisor, which will send them this way. And now they can fully go ahead and interact, which is pretty cool. Okay. Now there's also another public share link, which we can go ahead and use. And this will go ahead and do the same thing, but it'll give us the one where we can go ahead and see all of the actual app itself. Okay. So that's pretty cool as well. And the direct chat link is to go ahead and directly chat with it. Now, let's say I really like it. I want to give someone else it so they can customize it themselves. I can actually export it, which is really cool. And you can see export successful. And then what I can do is I can actually import. So in this case, drop your JSON file here. So I'm going to go ahead and find that file right now. I've got it right here. I'm dragging it over. And as you can see, it's gone ahead and popped it in here. I click on import assistant. And this is the really cool part. Look at that. It actually imported the assistant as a copy. And it says import as well. So now I can go ahead and make a modification. Let's say I want to test out a V2, for example, right? So let's go ahead and do that. And you can see now we have a V2. That's pretty cool. So now people can share it between them and so forth. Now, some of these are private, some of these are public. If we go to the gallery section, we can actually see which ones are which. So in this case, just going to hit refresh. And let's see for ourselves. We have one at the moment, which is public, Sunny's community advisor. Let's go ahead and also make, the rest are locked. Let's go ahead and make the test marketing public as well. And let's do, for example, the YouTube advisor as well. And I want to just change that to be like this, public, and there we go. Okay. Now let's go to gallery and let's just hit a little refresh. And obviously, if you wanted it to refresh every time you go in there, you could just do a quick little prompt, get that fixed, right? So let's do community advisor. So the search is working nicely. It's probably a local search. But yeah, it just goes to show that it's actually created a very decent prototype. So in the gallery, you can go ahead and discover and start chatting straight away. So if I was to start chatting, boom, there we go. We can go ahead and chat. And the share buttons as well will actually give us a nice shared link copy as well. So we can go ahead and send that to someone else. So just after some prompting, going back and forth, we were able to get this beautiful app, which is pretty damn impressive. The final step, of course, is you can go ahead and publish it. So you can click on publish, you get a nice little primary URL, and then all you need to do is publish. And then as you can see, it actually creates a production database. So we're going to go ahead and just give this a try right now. And you can go ahead and do some development data as well. So you can actually save your production database with the current development data, which is very handy if you want to see some test data on your production. You've got some advanced settings right here. Right now, we're setting it to auto scale. And you can even have a private published app, which requires a bit of a plan going on. So let's go ahead and click publish. And as you can see, it's preparing and it's going to go ahead and do that. So while it goes ahead and does this, I'm going to give some of my thoughts. So as you can see, this is where Agent 3 makes sense. It gives you a way to prototype quickly and validate your ideas without having to build everything manually first. So in my eyes, I see it more as a business and automation really useful tool, especially useful for internal tools, client-facing assistants, or MVPs. Basically anywhere where speed and efficiency is really what counts. This way you can get your prototype up and running really fast, use it right away, validate it. So in my opinion, this is one of the cooler uses of AI, because if you've got an idea, you want to bring it to life, Agent 3 helps you make that possible without requiring a big upfront investment or the knowledge base needed to build the thing in the first place. And that's truly where I see the power of something like Agent 3. So in recap, today alone, Agent 3 helped me build a chatbot dashboard with multiple assistants, and we even deployed one publicly, as you can see right here. So you can see we've got the production deployment right here. We've got our domain. I am going to deactivate this afterwards in case everyone starts spamming it. But as you can see, let's go ahead and give that a try right now. As you can see, it's loaded perfectly. We can create a new assistant. Let's just call it Sunny's Assistant, speciality being creative writing. And then, yep, you can go ahead and click on one of these options, make it public. And you see, we've even got validation here. So the system prompt, I can go ahead and say, you're a creative genius in meta marketing, for example. And then I can go ahead and create. As you can see, it works. This is live. This is not using the other dashboard. We've got the assistants and the conversations is 0. Perfect. We've even got the ability to edit, and we can see all of our links have been updated accordingly. That's pretty cool. So guys, if you do want to try this for yourself, simply check out the link in the description or the link on the screen right now in front of you, and you'll land over at the Agent 3 homepage. It does actually give you $10 of credit if you go through my link, which is going to help you out to go ahead and try this out for yourself. So you'll get a free $10 Replit core credit when you sign up that way by using the link in the description. So make sure you use replit.com/refer/SunnySanger for the free $10. And of course, a big thank you to Replit for sponsoring this video. It's tools like this that are pretty exciting. It allows us to ideate and test things much faster and simpler. We can build cool automations. We can build cool business processes, internal tools. And then of course, whatever you decide to do thereafter is where the real magic happens. So if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next in the AI space. And of course, guys, as always, I will see you in the next video.